Aquaman! Aquaman!
The next morning, Arthur steps into the kitchen. He opens the door of the rickety, broken-down fridge. He notices a distinct lack of alcohol within. Arthur steps out of his apartment wearing a heavy, concealing trench coat. He kicks up his feet and swims away. Arthur swims up and above the city of New Venice. He looks down at the buildings, some of which are built in the classical Greek style, while others are more modern-looking. Seaweed and algae cling to many of the tall sea scrapers. Arthur looks down on the sidewalks as he swims over them. Humanoid Atlanteans walk the streets with other sea life. Blue and green-skinned merchildren, human from the waist up, fish below, row around a ball of coral. At a street-side cart, a human-sized squid mingles with a lobster man, talking over magazines printed on laminated paper. The streets are choked with traffic. Atlanteans ride whales and sharks. Some pull large carts behind them, filled with goods such as fish and plankton and sea greens and protein from the sea. The lobster man looks up at Aquaman swimming by and shakes an angry claw at him.
You damn jay swimmers!
Arthur, perturbed, swims down to the sidewalk. He slumps his shoulders and tries to obscure his face over the coat collar. Behind him, plastered to the walls, are campaign posters showing a suited Atlantean man looking ahead hopefully. Printed in large letters below is the word adjustment. In smaller print below that is the phrase Orchestra Volco in 2010. Arthur passes a storefront full of TVs. Orchestra Volco's inauguration speech plays on each screen.
In order for Atlantis to survive in this new millennium, we must forge meaningful connections to the surface world. For too long, our monarchs have hidden our world and all it has to offer from the land dwellers. But this must not go on. Those such as Owen Kelly and others on the surface have presented opportunities for a renewed relationship with our land-bound brothers.
Aquaman grumbles and walks away. Aquaman soon steps out of a liquor store, his hands full of booze. He looks ahead, his eyes deadened and tired. Across the street is the former royal palace. A large wall surrounds the ornate mansion. 2 armed guards stand at a constant vigil. Nearby is a group of television journalists. A mermaid anchorwoman holds a microphone and speaks into the camera.
With the recent election of Orchestra Volco, the first Atlantean president, the entire state of Atlantis, including us here in New Venice, has switched over to democracy after hundreds of years of monarchs and kings. The switch ousted longtime hero king Aquaman after nearly 30 years of rule.
Something catches the reporter's fishy eyes. She blinks with both lids before pointing across the street.
That's him! That's Aquaman!
The team runs across the street. Aquaman, swigging from the whiskey bottle, stops in his tracks and stares at the camera wide-eyed. He hides the alcohol behind his back. The camera and microphone are shoved in his face, and lights are shined in his eyes.
Mr. Man, or can I call you Aqua?
No, I'm Arthur Curry. Aquaman, it was just my marketing name.
So, Aquaman, what do you think of Orchestra Volco?
I'm sure he's a fine man.
What about being ousted as ruling monarch?
Get a life!
He tries to walk away, but the reporters continue to hound him.
What about those reports of your depression and alcoholism following the public's decision?
The camera zooms in on the booze in his hand.
That is my personal business. It is no concern to any of you goddamn vultures.
He punches the camera merman. Aquaman turns Finn and flees. The anchorwoman screams at him as he goes.
Asshole! No wonder your wife left you.
Tears well up in Arthur's eyes at the stinging comment. Arthur returns to his apartment, head down, depressed. He takes a hit from the bottle before collapsing onto the couch, tears silently trickling down his face. Suddenly, he shoots straight up, grabbing his head and moaning at the sudden motion.
Who is it?
Arthur, it's your ex-wife. I brought our son.
Oh shit! Mirror!
He tries to clean up the mess. He frenziedly moves around the room, picking up stray pieces of garbage and empty bottles. He kicks aside a pile of empty Chinese takeout containers, revealing a small colony of giant isopods.
Ah!
Arthur, we're coming inside.
Just a minute.
The door swings open. 3 different people stand by the door. The first is Mira, Aquaman's former queen. Standing next to her is a blue-skinned merman dressed in a black suit. He holds a manila folder under one arm and a suitcase in the other. This is Bertram, a lawyer. Finally, crouched next to Mira's leg is a little tow-headed boy, no older than 3. He wears a child's version of Aquaman's uniform and hugs a plush orca to his chest. This is Aqualad. Mira steps inside, looks around, and then steps back out.
Oh, Jesus, Arthur. You really let yourself go.
It's been a rough past couple of months, but I'm getting along pretty well. I'm doing okay.
Arthur reaches down and pats his son on the head.
Hey there, Aqualad. How's Daddy's big little guy?
Aqualad recoils and pinches his nose.
Daddy's breath smells like cough syrup.
Cough syrup?
Arthur quickly checks the nearby brown bag.
Son of a bitch. Man, how do you get cough syrup mixed with booze? I mean, not booze. I don't drink, son. Drinking is bad.
Bertram steps forward and hands Arthur the file.
Mr. Curry, divorce proceedings were this morning and you were absent.
I guess I forgot.
Arthur falls to his knees and pulls at Mira's dress.
Please, Mira, don't leave me. I can change. I need you. I still love you.
He motions to the filthy apartment.
Look at me. My life, it's all in ruins without you.
He weeps into the fabric.
Weep.
Mommy, Daddy's scaring me.
Mira slaps away Arthur's hand before picking up Aqualad.
Stop being pathetic, Arthur. You're scaring our son.
Mira, I'm sorry, honey. I just want you to love me again.
You can't provide for our family, Arthur. It's that simple. I can't trust you anymore. End of issue. I'm sorry.
She walks away, her face stern but slightly regretful. Arthur watches her go, remaining on his knees. He looks at Bertram.
That went pretty well.
Aquaman, a custody hearing is tomorrow. We expect you to be there. If things continue in this way, you will lose custody of your son.
I'm his father. I have rights, or at least I think I have rights. I'm not entirely sure. That is your job to tell me that I have rights. So tell me, because I need to know. If I don't know these things, what am I supposed to do? Go around going, I don't know what I'm doing. No, you're supposed to tell me beforehand, so he'll be like, ooh, he knows his shit. But no, if you want to go around telling me, oh, we're taking your son because you didn't show up at your hearing. I was fighting crime. That toilet bowl had all kinds of bad gum inside of it.
As Arthur gets to his feet, the merman continues to stare at him condescendingly.
Tell me what I need to know so we can skip all this mumbo-jumbo. Just give me straight, man. I don't understand. Ooh, I'm gonna take your son away. What does it mean, man? Damn! So you're taking my son?
The lawyer literally hits him with the papers, and then finally leaves. Arthur slams the door and then slides to the floor, despondent. A giant isopod, a beer clamped in its front snappers, crawls over to him.